We're going back this morning, starting the second half, and I figured I'd do an opening to it. We're going to be doing a bunch of rocks that were basically thrown in the wood line all the way around this new house when it was built. I gathered up, brought them forward. I was just thinking I was just about done there, and they said, hey, what are we going to do with these rocks? And my plan was just to haul them off, and they're like, well, we don't really want to haul them off. So it's already a long project for me, where I'm a small business. She said, let's just use them up and do like a country New England farm wall out front. So part of this video you'll see where we just threw a wall together. I shouldn't say throw it, it's gonna look decent. I'm gonna say this during this opening though, you start building, when you do rock wall work, you got to really have a sit down with these people, who, no matter who you're working for, and say, hey, this is what it's going to look like, this is the grade rock that's here. Basically what that was rocks that they dug up. There was a farm wall that they took out that went across that lot. Instead of hauling it off, they threw it into the wood line for whatever reason. But farm walls are normally just a mixed batch of rocks, round rocks, square rocks, chunks of ledge. You can only do so much with them. You really got to have that sit down with the homeowner and say, hey, this is what you're going to get for a wall. And if you can, even show them pictures on your phone or something, because everybody says, oh yeah, I understand, but then when you don't put a wall up, they're looking at a Yankee magazine, looking at a $60,000 wall that got brought in on pallets. And you got 26 years of business, I still have to explain this to people, because I'm like, your wall's only going to look as good as the rock that you have. 99% of the time people are happy with it, because most people just like, oh, I can't believe you did that with the rock. But I'm just saying, after all these years of business, you still want to make sure you have that discussion with the homeowner. But anyways, this is the opening for it, and we'll get to it. I'm gonna show we're back here. I got that patio laid out mostly yesterday. It's real nasty hot right now, this part of New Hampshire. But I'm gonna put the sand in, wet it down, bring the grass up to it, seed it, straw it, and just keep backing my way out to the front yard at this point. But I'm pretty much done back here once I do that. This was the last big project I had, and like I said, we dug that out a little bit and found some more construction debris that was buried. You gotta love it. But we'll back out of here, and out front right here is all grass. We're just gonna bark mulch the wood line. I'm gonna put like a weed killer down before we spread bark mulch, but they're just gonna let that go back to like a natural wood line once the grass is established. We might even plant a couple trees in there later on. We'll see what happens, but just thought I'd show where we're at. This is one of the brands I use, Easy Sand Technoseal. This is only good for like a 1/2 inch, a 1/16 to a 1/2 inch gap. Get away with like 3/4 of an inch. I normally use, I think it's Saccrete makes it. Theirs is good for 3/4 to an inch. It's actually got like a real fine stone dust. It's not just sand like this. This glues up good once you wet it down, so it does stay together pretty good. So I'm not afraid to use this. But this is actually like my second or third choice. It's all I could get last week when I went down to get some. When you're doing regular patio pavers, it's fine because you're normally at 1/8 or 1/16. When I do those 24 by 24s, I normally leave a 1/2 to 3/4 inch gap in between them, depending on what I'm doing and what's going to get put on. But I just, like I said, I always show my products that I use, and it's a good product. We got the rocks that the guy that built the house threw all these rocks in the wood line all the way up through. I got this side cleaned out. Show you. Put some grass killer or weed killer on all that grass that's grown. We're going to put a straight line of bark mulch, and then she just wants to let that go back to like a natural wood line. She just didn't want the actual wood chip. She wanted the brown. She wanted stuff that was natural but not wood chip. But back here we got that, the rest of this seeded, and that's kind of what we're going to do. Down there she's got some more garden stuff she's going to do. I'm not doing any plantings here other than grass. I did this quick 12 by 12 or 10 by 12 patio. They just wanted something simple that they could put a patio set on. That's the most inexpensive way to do it, is the 24 by 24s. But that's all done. Where are we at over here? I'm gonna rake this out. I'm gonna try to, same thing with this this raised bed. She's got a bunch of stuff she's going to plant in it and then wood chip it. I started to pave her walkway today. Like I said, we got rid of that one step. That was 3 steps. They wanted them to have handrails and stuff on that farmer's porch, and he didn't want it, so we had to kind of like raise that up, put 2 granite steps in it. Now he doesn't have to have handrails, so that's the look they wanted. They're happy with it. They just went with a cheap paver from Home Depot. They said make it work. But out here, all this, you can see the faint blue line, but that's going to be all this is all going to be a raised bed on both sides of that walkway. Over here we just got a pretty much from the excavator back, it's going to be grass. We're going to do a rock wall. All the rocks that are in the wood line over here, I shoved them all forward to this point. We're going to pick those out right now, set them up near the road, but I'd like to get a straight line so we can get the rest of this grass in. That's grass I did less than, I mean, that's probably 8 or 9 days ago I did that. Had one little circle back there that didn't grow good. We just, for whatever reason, I don't know why. Other than that, that's coming in good. So we're going to continue that out basically to the edge of my blade. And then there's going to be a rock wall straight across. And we're going to clean this ditch line up. We're also going to add 3 feet to each side of the driveway to the culvert. Put that catch basin a little further back. This one here is just going to kind of be a ditch, and we're going to put real erosion stone. He's not happy with the guy that did the 1.5-inch rock. We will be cleaning that wood line up a little bit. She wants to get all the ferns dug out of there so that the water comes down through here cleaner. It does come down through because it keeps shoving that small rock in the culvert and plugging it. We're going to finish that up Monday. Today's Friday. This week's been a hot week. I'm kind of burned out. We're going to clean this. This is actually going to be a catch basin. That's that culvert got put in when the development got put in. That's all mortared there, but we're just going to wrap this around dry stack rocks so that it's going to be more of a catch basin. Other than that, we're in good shape. I'll be a couple more days here and I want to get out of here hopefully. Here getting towards the end of this job, but I got to add 3 feet to each side of that driveway as far as the culvert goes, and he wants more of an apron of gravel, so we're going to do that. And these rock walls going to get built out of the stuff I just pulled out of the wood line back there. I'll show you real quick. There's a rock wall that a rough rock wall that comes right down through. Some boulders there, that's just a property line, I believe, but we're not going there, but starting here we're going to try to do somewhat of a decent looking wall. Pretty much said I'd do the best I can with the rocks that are here. I'm going to have to bring some in. There's not going to be enough we're going to sweep it out to this culvert line, or I should say ditch line, and we're going to try to, from here over to the driveway, do somewhat of a straight wall, probably 18 inches tall. And like I said, we're just going to top it all with just natural rock, but I think it'll look kind of cool. I'm going to continue that bark mulch into this corner, probably put a little bit in front of the wall right here so she can do a couple plantings there. Other than that, this is just going to be small erosion stone, probably 3 to 4 inch. So after lunch I'm going to bring back a couple 3-foot pieces of culvert. I want to measure that. There's a couple different brands, and sometimes even though it's the same size culvert, they don't fit. But I just want to show that culvert's getting plugged because they didn't really ever put erosion stone, so the leaves and this end here, I got a special shovel I can reach in with about 12 feet and pull the stuff out. All that 1.5-inch rocks right through the whole thing. But we're going to add 3 feet to this side. This one here is going to be a rock wall coming off that big boulder in this corner. Same thing in front. It's probably just going to get leveled out, a little bit of bark mulch, but we're going to do a little bit of a wall. There will be, it's going to probably come out 12 feet from that rock stop because he wants to be able to sneak in here with the truck if he ever has to. And then we'll start here and go across. It will be part of the catch basin wall. I am going to bring some stuff from home that's somewhat square face so that I can stock the bottom of that with something that's going to stay there. I guess there has been a couple storms where this really, the water does come down through here in pretty good force. That culvert there was there. That's been there. I want to say this development got put in early 90s, and that's one of the original culverts. But you can see where there's been a couple rains where that didn't take it, and it snuck out right over there. I think I am going to keep it so that it can sneak out if it has to, if that doesn't take it all. We're calling it a day here. I got that wall started off the old wall. They just want like a farm wall to go to that boulder. I added the 3 feet to that culvert, and I made that a little bit better. We're going to do a small, probably go down to that and like teardrop it out bigger up this end with a 3 to 5 inch erosion stone, probably 3 to 5 feet wide. Then the rest, she's going to be planting that later on, bark mulching it, probably putting some flowers in the front and in the back of that wall. But I was hoping to get a little further today. I'm not gonna, today's Tuesday, I won't be back till Thursday morning, but hopefully we can get this wrapped up Thursday and Friday. I'm going to show where we're at. I took the rocks that were in that tree line, made what I could of it, and brought a few big chunks from home with a square face to make it go a little quicker. We're going to be bark mulching that wood line a little bit, and then small erosion stone. And I made this little tunnel with rock instead of erosion stone. I think it looked a little bit better. So hoping today we can get, I don't know if I'll be 100% wrapped up, but I want to be along the way pretty good. We're going to use a 3/4 road pack to make this apron a little bit bigger. And they also want something they can treat with the calcium that will pack pretty good in there. Probably are going to add a few more rocks to this end. He wants it high enough so someone's not backing into it. They're nervous about the plow guy, I guess, so we're going to put a few more flat top type rocks there. But I just thought I'd show where we're at. Over here, we're getting to the point. This is a catch basin that was here from the development being done. I'm going to guess like 20 years ago. We added 3 feet to the culvert on this side. He just wanted a bigger apron. So we're going to clean this up. This one, the one underneath my feet here, is mortared in. Goes across the street. Over here, I think we're just going to do a clean ditch line and put a little bit of erosion stone at the bottom of it. But we're going to use all that rock up. Just do a small rock wall off that big boulder out to probably 2 feet shy of my track, the excavator. And we're going to try to do a little square faced wall on the back side of this ditch line. I'm just going to show where we ended up. Getting pretty warm. I'm going to probably call it a day here. But that's what they wanted. Just some bark mulch. She's going to throw something in there. I did put preen on all that. They have a special preen now for bark mulch I've been buying, so it seemed to work pretty good. I didn't really want to put that heavy of a stone in there, but I built that up a little bit because he's nervous of someone backing into that. Now they'll feel that kind of hit the tire before they back in it. That's 3/4 road pack gravel. I'm going to put some calcium on that Monday. Today's Friday. About ready to call it as far as this goes. It's supposed to be a storm today, and then it's been getting dark, wind blows, but they just wanted to clean that ditch line up a little bit so she can do, she's going to do a lot of plantings here, which has nothing to do with me, which is probably good. But we got the rest of the grass in. I watered that because it's been breezy today, and that straw has got the tacked fire in it, so once you wet it down it stays. And then I want to go through my rock pile this weekend, probably get a few more flats, and I'll show you how we do it. We normally, I'm trying to use all the rock they had here, but sometimes you can grab some small stuff from the piles we have at the house. And have flats like that we can doll up and in. We're just going to do one square end. This is just going to curve around, doesn't really have to be a flat top. He just wants it a little bit higher than the ditch, so if someone goes into it, they earn it. When we're done, we're just going to drop some small erosion stone in there, and I got to finish this up Monday. I got all my equipment's going to move to another job site Tuesday, so probably do the same thing over here, some small erosion stone, just do this little belly, clean this up a little bit with the BX. That's ledge, that won't move. I banged on that a little bit. kind of hoping I could make that disappear, but I can't. So, but over here, like I said, we're just going to try to use up the rock they had, do a little bit of a wall, bark mulch on both sides so she can plant it. And they're leaving this driveway open. I just want to show we're getting somewhat where we got to be. Camera's not doing real good today. It's in the high 80s and it's like 70-something% humidity, so it's toasty. But we're just trying to use up the rocks they had around in the wood line. I brought in some smaller stuff and some bigger stuff to kind of make it work. But this was a ditch line that was put in when the road was put in. The culvert that goes across the driveway wasn't, but that culvert there goes across the road. He doesn't want the liability of someone sliding off the road and into this ditch. That was a concern, I guess, with the insurance. So kind of changed things up today, and we put some bigger boulders out here. So if someone ends up in there, they earn it, basically. But I got to finish putting this side together. This side I changed up a little bit. We put some bigger boulders, same reason. Up there, we may put one boulder. We'll see what happens. But we did the base of this one with just flat rock. She wants to do the same thing over there. So I basically got to finish putting this side together. And this side, and do a little bit more bark mulch. I'm going to leave some bark mulch probably in that little driveway over there. So when she does her plantings, whatever she messes up, she'll have some extra. So I just brought some with me. We're going to dump in there. That probably dump right in this edge here. Out here, we're going to be bringing back some erosion stone. So I'm hoping to get this wrapped up today with any luck. All right, we're going to call this video here. This was a complete landscape. They were worried about cars sliding off the road into that. Liability wise, I guess the insurance company wanted them to do something, so we came up with this rock wall thing. Probably 80% of these rocks came from this job site. This here, I left some mulch so they can finish. They're going to be doing a lot of plug planting themselves. We wrapped things up late last night, so I figured I'd come back today with the camera. I threw some calcium on this outside edge. That will bind that up pretty good. Keeps it from growing weeds too. So, but again, we're pretty much wrapped up here. I might take a leaf blower and blow some of this dust off the road, you know, sand off the road. But I got done here. I picked up my machine at like 8:30 last night. So like I said, I'm coming back today to do the final video. I'd walk out back, but he just watered everything. It's soaking wet. So I think the video shows pretty much everything we've done.